Here, we'll just move on down the line. EMA's not here.
And I'll give you a report for him.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. The only thing that he had to report, he can make it tonight, the only thing that he had to report is that we will be having a FEMA exploratory conference call meeting tomorrow. I believe it's going to include myself, Russell Oliver, but EMA, Director Herb Reeves, and there may be a couple other people just to go over exactly, make sure we file everything right and see if we have any questions on that. But otherwise, that's the only thing that we had to report for tonight.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, that's on the disaster relief.
Sure. I'll try to, what time is it? Morning.
10:30, I think, in the morning.
Try to have the sheriff too. He was gonna check on some hazardous mitigations. Money too, for using the county,
Okay.
with the county river declaration. This may not be the right call. This is not the right one, just in case I'm giving you the call.
Okay, I'll make a note and
Follow up.
see if we need to ask them about it while we're on the phone.
There's a, few places we want to talk to.
Yeah, for some shelters and different things, yes, okay. Do we skip on down then? We've got under the commissioner's report, I don't know if Commissioner Copeland, if you want to go ahead and mention that we added Rcnd Grant.
Just, this is something we've been working on for about a year and a half, and some information came in this morning that might can happen. The timeline is really, really close, so I asked McKinsey to put it on the agenda so that we could act on it next week if enough information came back. As soon as I get everything, I'll send it to everybody through McKinsey, details and what's about and all that stuff. We just found out Friday afternoon that funds should be available. I just got confirmation today that they haven't sent me either detail on what we got to do. So still in the air, but the timing is such that I thought we would get it on the agenda.
Okay.
And if you get it to me, something I can go ahead and send out, I can send it out to everybody to look over for the next meeting.
Great.
Yeah, hopefully I will have more information on it.
Okay. Okay. Under the administrator's report, we've got a census grant. Commissioner Sullivan received some information late last week on a grant that's available for the census, and what my understanding is they would do $1,500 to the county commissions. There's 32 counties that they're doing this in, and they're the ones with the lowest response rate on the census so far in Alabama. We're one of those counties, and so it'd be $1,500, but the $1,500 would be used to help the public school systems within the county try to go out and do some outreach and try to increase our numbers. And it essentially would end up being a competition between those 32 counties. They've already got us, got kind of the brackets marked out. It reminds you of like the Sweet 16 or something, basketball brackets is how they're laid out from what I've seen. It would be Pike County against Bullitt County would be in the first round, but I have, we've got to have somebody to lead it up, and because we're kind of shorthanded in the office right now, I have reached out to, one of their suggestions was the extension agent in our county, and so I've reached out to our extension agent, Abby Peters, and she is already working with the census quite closely about trying to get our numbers up, and she said she would love to do it, would be glad to do it for the county.
Great.
And so she and I are going to work on that. We would just need your permission to go ahead with it. It could lead to some big funds for the school systems within the county.
Right. Yeah.
If you were able to win it or even get to certain rounds within a competition. It'd just be 4 weeks long. I have reached out to the 2 superintendents. I've heard back from the county superintendent, Dr. Gazelle, and he is, like I'm sure a lot of superintendents are across the state and everywhere, very deep into trying to get back into school, but would be glad to do what they can. So I think this would be good to have somebody to be able to reach out and maybe come up with some printed materials, and maybe else get with the newspaper and talk to them about how this grant would work to try to get our numbers up here in Pike County.
Okay.
So I'll be asking for y'all to go ahead and approve us moving forward, signing off on that and getting that sent in so that we can get started on that grant, because it would start September 1st. And from what I understand and something I read today, the last numbers will be counted for the census on September the 30th.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we really need to get our numbers up here in Pike County. Maybe this will be a way to get them up. The other item I have that's not listed on there, as you all know, they're doing the ACCA annual conference virtually. It'll be next week. We had talked to them about trying to maybe do something up here together and trying to get people to come in and meet. Not sure if that's the best thing to do right now with everything going on, but they will be sending out links to go online to watch it virtually. And as soon as I get those, I'll send them out to all of you so that y'all can go online and see the classes and stuff that we would have gone to otherwise, if all of if COVID wasn't going on. So I'll send those out to y'all as soon as I get them. It'll be later next week, I think, before we get those links.
Do you have anybody going to that?
Yes, the next day, I believe right now, Commissioner Wright is scheduled to go.
No.
Oh, y'all I didn't know. I thought y'all changed it back to.
He's not gonna be able to go.
Okay, so you're gonna go now? Okay, all right. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours, that they'll have one person from all 67 counties is what they've asked to come to this one meeting in Prattville so that they can uphold the social distancing and everything. So Commissioner Harris has agreed to go to that for us.
All right, good, thank you.
So, and that'll be on that Tuesday. And I think there may be a link even that comes out for that day, even though some of the people will be there in person. But like I said, anything I get from that, I'll send it out. As y'all know, there's usually those breakout sessions for EMA, E911, county administrators, commissioners, and county engineers. So there'll be some different links on there. But, you know, even when we go, if it's something that interests you, people can go to different sessions. So I'll send that out to you though, as soon as I have that information. That's all I have under new business. Under current business, under the jail, just so you all know, myself and Tommy Lawrence and possibly an engineer that's working with our utilities for the new jail and jail complex are going to meet with some of the engineers at the city this week to discuss utilities and how we'll need to handle all the utilities. It's just a little meeting to figure out how all that'll work. No decisions will be made there, just so that y'all know that we're going to go and meet and talk about that, how that'll all work. Let's see. Right now, we're still working on the credit card acceptance resolution with Alan, and I'm going to skip the vacation of the road. We'll go back to that. We haven't started that yet. Under personnel for the Revenue Commissioner, there is a letter in the back of your package where they are recommending to hire in the Revenue Commissioner's office for the Customer Service Rep 2 position that has been advertised.
Good.
There's no questions on that. Next, we have, that's going to be all. The only other thing that would be through the Commission Office would be the lounge retail liquor Class 1 request, and we have not met the 30 days nor we receive the documentation that's required. I don't think they've had time to get that done, but once we get that, we can move forward with that.
Okay, thank you. We'll call the public hearing in this order since our attorney is now present. Alan, our engineer's not in.
No.
So if you will take that and run with it, please.
Jordan, where'd you go? Just give that to Russell and then pass it down. The part of the road that is highlighted in yellow is what has been petitioned by the abutting landowners that I've identified by researching all of their names and confirming that there are no other abutting landowner. Petition came from and is signed by Cheryl Talbot Richards and her husband Michael Charles Richards, and I'm sure y'all know them. Jimmy Strickland, his wife Joy Strickland, Doc Carroll, Thelma Carroll, and Kenneth Carroll, and Wendy Denise Carroll Whitehead. And the petition seeks to just vacate that portion that comes off of, let me double check, it's coming off of 33. Okay, this is a good going on that way, what's that? This intersects 3338. You can see where that intersects. Are y'all here for the public, for the hearing on the road?
Yes, sir. This is Mr. White and the city.
Okay.
The first one.
I just couldn't recognize you through the mask on.
Sorry.
We're conducting the public hearing right now, as a matter of fact, so. We all, welcome to the hearing, appreciate you coming. This is the hearing part, the voting will take place here in the regular, but I passed around to the commission a map copied out of the tax office that shows the road and y'all are the landowners that are right along with them. And I just read out all the petitioners' names, so y'all join in. And so y'all are wanting to vacate that portion of 3341 from where it intersects 3338 down to where it crosses or goes to, and actually
terminates.
based on our research, ends at the Pike County, Coffee County line. And everybody that abuts that road, all landowners abutting that road, are the petitioners. They have all signed. And so that's the first test. The other test is to make sure no other landowners, even if they're not abutting it, are cut off from reasonable ingress and egress to their property. They might have used this to get up in there, even though they're not abutting. And our research shows there are none. And that the map shows, I think everybody's in agreement with it. And we did, because it does touch a road, you know, that goes on into Coffee County, and it's not just a true dead-end road, like those are the easy kind of vacate. This does continue in you can go left or right where it joins the Pike County, Coffee County line. So I did confirm through with our engineer, he did research along with me, that the Coffee County engineer and the Coffee County commissioner in that district not only don't have an objection, they would like to see this road vacated because they have the same traffic issues, same kind of mess. So this would protect their road from that same issue, and the landowners in Coffee County that use this coming off 3338 and using that part of 3341. So it's actually all of the unpaid 3341 that comes through petitioner's land is going to be asked to be vacated so they can secure it and put a gate wherever y'all want to, on the end, wherever y'all decide. The other requirement is, of course, we posted in the messenger, and I have to give notice, which I've done to any and all utilities that have any type of accident, property of their own, power, whatever it may be, up along the road. And the only utility I heard back from, and I sent them notice by certified mail as well, is the CenturyLink company. They have y'all know what I'm talking about. They said they have some piece of equipment that's right there at the road, and they've looked at it. They sent an engineer to look at it, and they responded back in an email and said they have no problem with that either. So they can get access to that if they do something if they need to. So based on all the criteria and protocol that we use in vacating roads of whatever description it may be, along with an engineer who helps work with me on that system, we concluded, and I've got an email from him saying he in his capacity no objection, that would easily vacate both parties. So, as your attorney, therefore, particularly, which kind of sealed it to me, our neighboring county engineer and the commissioner in that district. Not only out of a courtesy, we contacted them, but, you know, we didn't want to run into where somebody cuts us off at a county line and we wish we had been told. So it was the right thing to do, and they actually agree with vacating that road. So based on all of that information, at the proper time in the business meeting, I would recommend you adopt this resolution to vacate it.
Would any of you like to comment?
We presented it perfectly.
Okay. Well, thank y'all for being here, we appreciate it. All right, anything else, any commissioner?
I missed one thing.
All right,
The retirement resolution for converting from tier 1 to tier 2 to tier 1 benefits.
yes.
I skipped that. I have heard from them, all the elected officials and department heads, and I have not had a single bit of opposition from it. I and Jordan have both had calls from employees asking questions, and everyone said, please start it tomorrow.
Okay.
So we do not have any opposition.
I've got some of those calls too that was positive for that.
Just to let y'all know that. Other than that, so I will ask for action on that. That's all I have.
All right, great. Anything else need to come before the commission at this time? Any commissioner have a comment or a question? Okay. The work session and the public hearing will now come to a close, and we will reconvene at 6 p.m. for our regular meeting.